Hello guys, today we are going to discuss about the JavaScript and some key variables of the JavaScript. As you can see today in today's video, we are discussing variables, arrays, and objects, functions, and loops. Coming to the variables, we can define variables in three ways by using let, var, and const. So let's see some example programs about this. We say let x equal to 10 and console.log x. So we can see here there is a printed by 10 in the console, and we also see where y equal to 20 in console dot log of y. As you can see, 10 and 20 are printed. In this let and where we can store numbers, strings, boolean values. As you can see, coming to the const here, coming to the const, when we declare a const variable, we should assign the value as there itself. Now we can remove this 10, and you can see that error is occurred, syntax error. So we should give the value to the const variable at the time of declaration. Here we can, in case of var and let, we can assign the values after the variable declaration. As you can see here, the 15 is printed, but in the case of const, it is not possible. So let's move on to the next concept, arrays. To the next topic, arrays. Here you can see the syntax of the arrays. We use a variable name and array name, and we use the brackets and item names. To modify these arrays, we use some functions push, unshift, pop, and shift. So let's see how they follow. Now first declare an array 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Then let's print this. As you can see, the array is printed here in the console. So now let's modify these. We can also access the array items using indexes. For example, 2, array of 2. In array of 2, the element placed is 3. So 3 is printed. So now let's modify this array using some functions. To add an elements, we use push and unshift. So the syntax is array name dot push function, and we have to give a number. See, the 6 is added at the last. Here the push function is used to add an element into the array at the last of the array. And we also can try array dot unshift 0. So here we got a clarity about that. The unshift function will add the number at the front of the array. To delete the elements in an array, we use pop operation, pop function, and shift function. The pop function will remove the last element of the array. As you can see, 6 is deleted, and shift function is used to delete the first first element of the array. As you can see, 0 is deleted. So this is the information about the arrays. Now let's go on to the next topic, objects. So the next topic is objects. Here is the syntax of the objects. To declare an object, variable name, object name, and the key and the values of keys. And to access these keys, we use dot operator and bracket notation in the objects. So let's create an object. Okay. which function. And we can also declare functions inside the object using studying function. So what is studying? So now let's print this object using console.log of object. As you can see in the console, the name, age, and studying is given as a function. To access this function, we use dot study parenthesis. So the statement inside the function is defined in here, study. To access the keys of the object, we use dot operator name. Yeah, okay, as you can see, the name is printed in the console, and also yeah, and we can also use bracket notation, as you can see. Sorry, in bracket notation, the key should be in double quotes. Name, the Sandeep is printed in the console, and also age. Yeah. In this way, we can create object and access the keys of the object. So let's move on to the next topic, functions. Coming to the next topic, functions. Here is the syntax of the function. In JavaScript, when declaring the functions, we use the keyword function and function name and parameters to be passed in the code. So let's build a function. Function sum pass a comma b. So we print the sum of these two numbers of a plus b. So we should call the function at the down of the function. As you can see, we pass the parameters 4, 6. Yeah. Here the console is printed by 10. In the same way, we have two other more types of functions, anonymous function and arrow function. Here is the declaration. Coming to the anonymous function, we declare anonymous function using a variable name and the function name. We write the same code equals to function keyword and the parenthesis. Here we write the console of a plus b, and we should pass the parameters here a comma b. So now let's call this function. So 6, 7. See, as we can see, 13 is written in the console. So there is another type of function known as special function, arrow function. Declaration of arrow function includes the variable name and the function name and equals to parenthesis. And here we give the arrow mark and parenthesis. Let's write console.log a plus b. We should pass the parameters here itself. Now let's call this function sum of comma 3. As you can see, 92 is printed in the console. In this way, we declare a function and access the functions. And as we see, declaration of anonymous function and arrow functions. And sometimes we can give the written values in the functions, as we can take off this and give return a plus b and store this sum of 89 plus in a variable at x equal to, and let's come print the value of x. As you can see, 92 is given in the console. So in this way, we can take the return values from a function. So now let's go on to the last topic in the JavaScript, loops. Coming to the last topic, loops. In JavaScript, we have 3 loops called by for loop, while loop and do while loop. For loop, the syntax of for loop is that we use a keyword for and we initialize a value at I equal to 0 and we write the condition less than 5 and we increment the variable and open the code and let's print the I values in each iteration. So as you can see here the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are printed in the for loop. For loop is used when the code how many times the statement should be repeated when we know that how many times the statement should be repeated. And now let's go on to the while loop. In while loop the condition is given at the starting in the while loop keyword condition I less than 5. So we have to declare the I value at I equals 0. Initiation is done outside of the loop. And we print the I values. Console.log I I plus plus. No. Okay. As we can see here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is printed in the while loop. And now move on to the next loop, do while loop. It is used when the body of the loop should be executed at least once. Console.log of I plus plus. So here we write the condition while I less than 0. As you can see, I less than 0. The initial value is 0. 0 less than 0 is false. But the do while loop executes the first statement at once and then the condition is checked. So the 0 is printed in the console. It is all the information about the loops and we got an idea about when to use which loop and we got the idea about the topics, variables, arrays, objects and functions and loops. So thank you for